So my deck building strategy when I'm not making budget decks is usually, what can I summon with N'Zoth this time? And so here we are with the Pirate Jade Golem N'Zoth Rogue deck. It's better than it sounds. Hear me out, right? I'm going to explain it in this video, but before we do that, here's everything you need on the side of the screen. No, by no means, not a budget deck, but I thought we've got to mix things up a little bit. You know what, if I'm excited about a deck, I'm going to make the video and I'm going to show you guys, because you might by chance have almost all the cards for it, or maybe you're just interested to watch a wacky deck that I've made. So, we're starting off with an interesting hand. It's got both Small Time Buccaneer and N'Zoth in the hand. Okay, so, hear me out. When I started making this deck, I realised that Jade Golems, you know, there's a Death Rattle in Aya Blackpaw, and I thought I do want to summon Aya Blackpaw again because that would be obnoxious. Oh look, N'Zoth's going to summon her again. Okay, where do we go from here? Well, Rogue has a lot of Death Rattle cards. That sounds great to me, and it turns out Rogue is a really good class for Small Time Buccaneer. And I just happened to craft Patches the Pirate a day before. So I thought, well, if I'm running Small Time Buccaneer into turn 2 Dagger, yes, I'd quite like my Small Time Buccaneer to have a Patches the Pirate as well. So we're running 5 pirates, including Patches. Nothing too crazy, it's just early game removal. And what's happening on the screen is quite interesting. So, Dirty Rat is being played by some control decks. Now, when you play out your pirates, control decks often like to think that you're an aggressive deck. And then that's when you get them. They start using all of their removal, they start playing their Dirty Rats, and then they bring out your 5 mana cards. So that's pretty cool. So that worked out quite well for me. I will admit that was quite lucky. But yeah, so this deck is all about kind of getting tempo with those pirates in the early game. And then it's almost good if your draws are good, of course. I tried to make it as consistent as possible. It's quite good at every single stage of the game. So you've got those early game pirates to contest the other early game pirates that other decks will be running. So your Aggro Shamans, your Pirate Warriors, you can contest those, and you also have your Death Rattle engine in the you've got the Jade Swarmer, you've got Undercity Huckster, and of course you've got Raptor, which will come out and double those Death Rattles, so you're getting more Jade Golems as well. And then later in the game, in the mid game, you've got things like Azure Drake to draw you more cards, Refreshment Vendor to keep you alive, and we've also got Dark-Eyed Skulker as your board clear. And I also started running Blade Flurry just because it was banter and no one saw it coming. Not a good card, by the way, wouldn't recommend it. And then we've got Aya Blackpaw and Sylvanas Rimrunner to kind of give you legs in the late game, so that's where we're going right now. Haven't summoned any golems just yet though, but it's still annoying to get a 2-2 out of your 5-3 once she dies. It also gets the golems going, so if we do get Jade Swarmer later in the game, or Jade Shuriken, we're gonna get more value out of those cards, so it doesn't really matter which order we do it in. And then obviously Sylvanas helps dealing with big control decks, and then N'Zoth the Corruptor really makes you win against those aggressive decks which may run out of steam, those mid-range decks which think they have the win and then you play N'Zoth, or the control decks sometimes do get overwhelmed and use all of their removal early in the game, and then you get N'Zoth to bring back your Jade Golem cards and your Sylvanas. Also, Raza the Chained isn't something that you see every day in a rogue deck, but rest assured this is a purely skill-based video game, and I used 100% of my video game Hearthstone knowledge to make that happen. So, of course, things are looking quite good. It looks like we're up against the Dragon Priest, by the way. I remember I just didn't say that. I got really excited about my deck. So here we go. We've got Jade Shuriken here now, and Jade Shuriken suddenly is an overpowered card because we played Aya Blackpaw. That's the beauty of Aya Blackpaw. She makes all of your other Jade Golem cards, if you haven't got them already, just suddenly really good. And if you've played loads of Jade Golem cards by the time Aya Blackpaw comes out, well, then Aya Blackpaw is really fucking annoying to deal with. So that's good. So yeah, Refreshment Vendor is in here, really. I wouldn't worry about giving your opponent health, because that isn't what this deck is about. Aggression, I mean. If you're dealing more damage to your opponent in the early game, and you give them full health with Refreshment Vendor in order to stay alive yourself or to get a body on the board, I think that's more valuable than just leaving the Refreshment Vendor in your hand. He's not there. He wouldn't be there if this was an aggressive deck, but this is a deck designed to deal with the meta, and it's also designed to make you laugh and giggle when it actually works, because no one seems to see the N'Zoth coming when you do finally get it out. And it seems like N'Zoth is going to be wholly unnecessary in this game, and yet I still want to play it. It really makes me happy when N'Zoth comes on the board. And our opponent, luckily, has just handed us the answer to this board state. And I don't even mind damaging my minions, because I realise I'm going to totally stifle his momentum there if I do just play Excavated Evil. So yeah, this deck does rely on a couple of cards that rely on a couple of bits of luck. So you've got Swashbuckler, and also you've got Undercity Huckster. That's 4 cards that are going to give you different games every time you play them, because you're going to be getting different cards randomly from your opponent's class. Now to me that's really fun. You may not like the random element of it, but personally I think it's really satisfying to win with the opponent's cards. Sylvanas also facilitates this, and then you can double those death rattles with Unearth Raptor, so you could say there's like 6 random cards that you're getting. So yeah, this deck does adapt to the decks that it plays against. And I would say that it's quite versatile on the ladder as well. You kind of want a deck that deals with the aggressive decks, but can outpace a lot of them. And before we even got to play N'Zoth, the opponent conceded. And of course, that was just a win at the glorious rank of 14. As we all know on zoidgaming, the greatest rank of them all. And of course, if you enjoyed that video, I know I certainly did making it, be sure to leave a like. It lets me know that you did enjoy it. And of course, there'll be more budget decks, more Hearthstone decks, and more other gaming things too coming right up. So don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.